MMMBop, the rise, fall, and revival of Orlando Brown, Disney star turned messy meth addict. We'll take "we didn't see that coming" for 500, Alex. Because who would have thought that Eddie Thomas would end up becoming a drug-abusing, meth-using, viral sensation for all the wrong reasons? Appearing in numerous films and TV shows as a youngin, it had been till a then 13-year-old Orlando Brown hit the jackpot, scoring his most notable role to date, playing the role of Eddie Thomas on Disney's That's So Raven. His future as an actor and in the music scene looked promising. That is, until he disappeared from the spotlight and came back in a way that had all of us highly concerned for his overall well-being for obvious reasons. Being a child star comes with many advantages and disadvantages. On one hand, you're being adored by fans from all over the world. But what happens when all the fame, freebies, and admiration come crashing down? In Orlando's case, you may just end up going off the deep end and becoming a global viral sensation thanks to your bopping shenanigans. Prior to his b-balling days over at Bayside High, Orlando was just an up-and-coming child actor, landing his first role alongside Damian Wayans in the movie Major Pain. He moved on to appear in a wave of other sitcoms and television hits, such as Sister Sister, The Jamie Foxx Show, Family Matters, and others. Working with the Olsen twins and his charismatic and adorable charm led him to become a regular in the black sector of entertainment. The Disney Channel scooped him right on up from there. Orlando seared himself a contractual deal with the network, voice acting for shows like Fillmore, Clifford the Big Red Dog, and voicing the character of Deschanet's tech-savvy, one-sided love interest, Sticky Webb, in the animated series, The Proud Family. Steadily but surely, Orlando made his way up the Disney ladder and would end up being utilized as a regular on a number of Disney DComs and shows. It wouldn't be till the year 2003 when we'd see Orlando grace our screens alongside Raven-Symoné and Annalise Vanderpool in one of Disney's best creations to date, That's So Raven. Playing Raven Baxter's logical rapping, basketball-playing best friend, opposite of the more illogical ditzy BFF Chelsea, the three-piece trio often went through many trials and tribulations, thanks to Ray's psychic abilities, causing slight mayhem in their lives. Rapping and music overall were focal attractions to the role of Eddie, and luckily for Orlando, his love for music outside of the show bled into the series scripts. Abiding by his Disney contract, he went on to appear on several Disney-related albums, and even produced his own solo album, Trade It All, in 2006. But it didn't cultivate much buzz from That's So Raven fans. Now known as a Disney star, his love for rap and hip-hop didn't quite reach the audience he'd hoped for. And needless to say, the hip-hop community and the general public just couldn't take his music endeavors seriously. Following the end of That's So Raven, Orlando was still determined to work as an actor, but the phones weren't ringing off the hook like they once used to. We'd notice, or didn't, Orlando fade out of the acting bid altogether, and he aimed all of his attention to his music career. Riding the coattails of the YouTube-originated, dance-curated era of Soulja Boy's Cranked At, The Stanky Leg, and others like it, Orlando put out a song of his own, Peter Pan, along with a dance in hopes of scoring a break within the music industry. But the dance, along with the song itself, would wind up going triple times aluminum, and was paid complete dust. Continuing to churn out music and getting absolutely nowhere due to his lack of label support and live performances, he'd steer himself back into the direction of acting. But by this point, the world of acting turned its back on him. Nevertheless, he'd appear in an indie-esque shows and films like Ireland's, yes, the country, The End, and went on to compete in Gordon Ramsay's Hell's Kitchen. We wouldn't see Orlando around these acting parks for quite some time, until 2015, when he landed a short part in Ice Cube's produced NWA biopic, Straight Outta Compton. This would be the last time we'd see Orlando in a major role, before vanishing from the acting realm once more. Unbeknownst to us, during his time out of the spotlight, Orlando was silently battling mania and a drug addiction that has torn his life completely apart. Silence turned to loud both literally and metaphorically. Every day between the hectic years of 2016 through 2021, a new video of Orlando either being arrested, going on a drug-fueled tangent, exposing whichever celeb of the day, and a whole lot in between appeared to pop up on social media, getting to a point where people were expecting the wild and outrageous, yet humor-filled short clips. Whether it be exposing Diddy for being a booty bandit, outing Stevie Wonder for actually being able to see, claiming to be Michael Jackson and Will Smith's son, or on a more serious note, verbally abusing and threatening the lives of his baby mothers, the videos caused quite the mass panic. People thought Orlando's rocky road originated around the same time the first batch of videos made their way around the interweb, but that couldn't have been farther from the truth. In fact, the first public troubled encounter had been in 2007, following the end of That's So Raven, when Orlando was arrested and charged for possession of marijuana. The following year, he sent his team into a panic when he disappeared for a full 24 hours, after he was scheduled for a full day of meetings to prepare for his performance at Club Tattoo in LA. Once he finally appeared, he sent out a statement telling fans that he felt a little lost and needed to get away. He was later cuffed by LAPD after a warrant was sent out for his arrest, due to the failure of appearing in court following a DUI in 2011, and was ordered to enroll in alcohol educational courses, but failed to do so. He did some jail time and was ordered to pay almost $200,000 in fines. From here on out, the legal trouble and overall personal trouble just kept getting worse and worse. An accident caught on video showed Orlando making threats to a woman outside of her apartment. And when asked about the incident, the woman claimed Orlando made sexual passes at her, and she denied him. Let Orlando tell it. He was there to let the woman's boyfriend, knowing that nothing was going on between the two. But even then, the story still doesn't add up. The threats became more vicious, only this time, they were aimed at Orlando's girlfriend, who felt the physical manifestations of Orlando's wrath in a parking lot after he had punched her in the face. A bystander flagged down the police, who questioned Orlando about the altercation, but he refused to leave his car, further prompting officers to search him. Methamphetamine was shortly discovered, and he was later charged with a misdemeanor on domestic battery charges, obstruction of justice, and drug possession with intent to sell. Failing to appear for a scheduled court date, yet again, another warrant was issued for his arrest. In response to complaints of domestic disturbance, yet again, the police were summoned, and this time, the disturbance wasn't just between Orlando and his girl, but Orlando, his girlfriend, and her mother. This warranted additional charges, and soon Orlando found himself in the slammer once again. You'd think being locked up would help him think about his actions, but his release proved otherwise. The antics and the drugs only skyrocketed higher than he was. That's So Raven fans were in for a treat when the cast reunited for a 2015 reunion on The View. But alas, once its spin-off series, Raven's Home, came to fruition, fans were disappointed, yet understanding when Orlando didn't revive his role as Eddie Thomas. Orlando soon went on rants about Raven, claiming to have dated her prior and during the filming of That's So Raven, and claims to have slept with her, giving her that MMMBop, yeah, 3000. Despite Raven refusing to give Orlando's claims any attention, it seemed as though fans actually believed Orlando, disregarding his wild behavior during the time. He even got Raven's face tatted near his neck, which aligned with his terribly done hand tattoo of the That's So Raven cast. After a short-lived stint in rehab, Orlando, with the disguise of making an appearance on The Wendy Williams Show, was actually sent to the Dr. Phil show and wasn't thrilled about the surprise meetup by any means. There, he opened up about his struggle with meth and mental illness. He appeared to be incoherent throughout the interview and claimed to be the bastard child of the Michael Jackson. He also claimed to have many children spread out throughout the country, but tripped up on the years and birth orders of some of them. An incident involving a friend led to another arrest after Orlando had broken into a friend's restaurant to allegedly change the locks. During this time, music was still fresh on his mind, releasing "Hi, I'm famous," and the contrary, "F my fame." His time spent in the blogs was always a key for those awaiting his next outlandish move. But after a while, things slowed down, and we weren't hearing anything Orlando Brown related for quite some time. Clips of a fresh-faced Orlando speaking to churchgoers surfaced online and made their way around the web, but not nearly as quick as his drug-raged videos had done. It was evident that Orlando was off that stuff and into God's good grace, and supporters applauded his efforts at getting clean. Graduating from a faith-based program courtesy of his fiancée, Orlando's life was once again on the right side of the track. Music being the one thing that stuck by his side, served no different this time around, and he'd release his first song post-sobriety, "Smile on Me," a gospel/rap number discussing the ins and outs of his relationship with drugs and the sovereignty he was led to after. Being a child catapulted into the limelight is no easy task to navigate, especially for those lacking a solid support system. A lack of genuine support, love, and the decline of fame following one of TV's most popular shows of its time aided in his mental instability, and sought for drugs and the media's focus on the situation only escalated Orlando's new role as the crazy ex-Disney star, making fans wonder if it was all just the drugs talking, or Orlando trolling in a transactional stunt for attention. He was eventually able to find his way back, and although addiction isn't linear, it looks like Orlando is finally back to doing what he does best, making us laugh. This time, meth aside. Do you think that there was some truth in Orlando's drug-fueled rants? Let us know your thoughts and opinions down below in the comments. And stay tuned for more true celebrity stories.